what will be the next implementation of technology in college football? I'll give you what I thought about first, and then I'll give you what they thought about. What they thought about is very common. It's right in front of your face. I should have thought about it earlier. But I was thinking along different lines. I was thinking about virtual reality, and it's already being used a lot. But I also thought about lucid dreaming. Now, this is out there, so you're going to have to follow me on this. But I know the U.S. military discovered long ago that the best way to mentally train elite fighters is to control how they sleep and to control what they dream when they sleep. Sometimes this was done a little sketchaphily, but if you can control a lucid dream cycle, then you can control how someone is sleeping. And also, it turns out, science has shown us that the way you handle yourself when you're lucid dreaming, that's that really, really deep sleep where you feel like you weigh about 500 pounds and you're so aware in the dream as if it's real life. The way you handle yourself in that state of sleep is largely the way that you would make your decisions if it were real life. So in a militaristic sense, why put you out on the battlefield when we can simulate it here and we get the same result without any casualties? Well, in college football, the stakes aren't quite that high, but I wonder if there's a day that comes, not where we can replace the physicality of practice. We'll never replace that. You've got to have your body physically ready. But I wonder if there ever comes a smarter way to mentally prepare guys and coaches too. I'm a believer younger head coaches exist now than ever have before because of the technological advances in this game that allow you to expose yourself to thousands to tens to hundreds of thousands of observed repetitions of all sorts of things that you normally would have had to coach a lifetime to experience. I mean, Kirby Smart's mid-40s now. And that guy's probably seen more with his eyes. He's been exposed to more than some coaches that a generation ago were 60, 70 years old, just because technology's allowed him to do that. Well, I wonder, as players and coaches in the future, I wonder if what you're doing when you're asleep becomes part of that. I also wonder about virtual reality and how you can simulate mentally the repetition that you get in a football sense without having to, risk injury. There cannot ever be a day where you replace pure physicality. I understand that. I'm talking about supplementing that. Now, as for Director Colin and Producer Jesse, they said, what about in-game technology? And this is the obvious one. I've screamed this from the mountaintops, and then I forgot about it when one of you asked the question. How we don't have microchips in footballs and lasers shot across the field to pick up true spotting of balls in 2022 is nuts to me. Think about the moon landing. Think about all the incredible advances that we've made as a society. Some of these things happened 50 plus years ago, and we cannot even get a true spot of a football in 2022. And the entire setting is controlled. This is not the moon. This is not Bruce Willis on the asteroid, where everything's unpredictable. We control the setting. We control the broadcast. We control the field. We control the parameters, everything, the dimensions we created. We made the game. How do we not have microchip technology in footballs? I don't mean one chip. I mean, go through the seams of the football. So on every part of that ball, there is a microchip ability to where it corresponds with a laser that is shot across the field to determine a true spot. How many times in a college football game, and NFL for that matter, on Saturdays and Sundays, do you watch a 3rd and short and you're sitting there waiting with bated breath to wonder if a guy made it, and you're watching and you realize there's a 67-year-old linesman who's running out here, and my fate, whether it be this betting ticket I have or this team I've rooted for all year and my fingernails have been chewed to the nub, our fate rests on where he thinks this ball is supposed to be. And it gets even worse, tenfold, when you get down near the goal line. And inevitably, if you got a goal to go and you got half a yard between you and the end zone, no one's going 5 wide if they have any sense about themselves. And inevitably, you're going to have a sea, just a mass of humanity. They're on the goal line. No one knows where to spot that ball. We've watched this happen in bowl season this past year. If you're watching right now, this was not ruled a touchdown. Pure insanity. And think about how easy this could be rectified, especially at the goal line. If you don't want to microchip and laser the whole field, at least have laser technology at the goal line. At least have a strip that's run across the front of the goal line that corresponds with the microchip in the football to where we know, as long as you can watch visually and know where forward progress was stopped, We know where the football was. We'll never have to guess where the football was. Instead, we've got just ridiculousness that's so unnecessary. There's some stuff in this game we can't take out. The occasional injury, we could legislate all we want to. We cannot take injuries totally out of the game. Poor spots that change the outcomes of games, we can take that out of the game tomorrow. And yet, anytime you bring this up, I think we have supermajority consensus agreement on this too, and yet we never hear anything about it. When does the Rules Committee, when do they ever propose stuff to rectify this? They don't. I don't know. Again, that's one of my many executive orders on day one in office as your college football commissioner.